Hello, my name is Matt LaCroix. I'm the marketing manager for Hesston by Massey Ferguson and Massey Ferguson Hay Equipment. Today we're going to show you some simple adjustments on the 2900 series round baler. This covers the 2956, 46, auto tight and auto cycle versions. We're going to show you some examples of things you can do in the monitor and mechanically for better results in the field. The first easy adjustment we're going to show you is how to adjust for different mesh wraps. You have a storage roll up here. Let's just assume this one came from up there, and you're going to load mesh into your baler. Very simple. All you have to do is gather some mesh and tuck it behind this rubber roll back here. You do not have to tie a knot in it, nor do you have to ratchet the side of the mesh roll to feed. Depending on which size of mesh you choose, you can adjust these little metal holders on both sides of the mesh tube to firmly secure your mesh wrap. To adjust these mesh wrap holders, simply lower the bottom door and you can access the bolts from under here. You can slide these left or right, depending on what size mesh you choose. While we're down here, a couple of other adjustments I want to show you. You see these bolts down through here? This is what holds on your mesh knife. The mesh knife can be adjusted depending on what kind of cut you're getting on your finished product. If it's not cutting good enough, make sure all of these are lined up properly on the baler. To maintain proper tension on your mesh, one of the adjustments you can make is your mesh brake. There's one on each side of the baler, and it's right here, and you can adjust these springs to add or decrease tension on your mesh. To make sure your mesh is very tight on your belt and you have a very pretty finished product, another way to add tension to this mesh is with these gas shocks on either side of the chamber. You can see the adjustments here, and you can loosen it or increase tension. That will actually add pressure to this bar across the entire length of your mesh roll, adding tension to the finished product. There are two settings for your pickup adjustment. One is pickup flotation. You can adjust via this bolt right here to add or decrease flotation. We have all of these holes down here to adjust pickup height. You can move this pin and choose any of these many options here to set your pickup height. A couple of adjustments you can make inside the right-hand door. We'll look at the first one. You can adjust your twine holder right here. This can be moved back and forth to adjust your twine on the right-hand side of the bale. Two of the settings I'm going to show you happen right here. Bale density can be set by this knob. You can increase or decrease bale density by turning this left and right. There's a gauge on the front of the baler so you can see what your pressure is. Another change you can make is belt tension. A good maintenance tip is to take the pressure off of your belts in the off season. You can turn this counterclockwise to take all the pressure off your belts and add slack so they are not stretched. There are 13 places to grease your baler for maintenance. As you can see here, some of them are in grease banks. Applying twine tightly is very important. There are tensioners, just like this, on the right and left-hand side of the baler where your twine boxes are, as well as on the twine arm underneath. There are a lot of settings inside the monitor for a 2900 series round baler. All 2900 series round balers are ISO compliant. So here we will use the tractor monitor and select ISO. This brings you to the home screen. As you can see, you have your driving bars here, and they go through three different color ranges: green, yellow, red, depending on if you need to fill up the left, right, or center of the chamber. There are a lot of settings within here. We have it on the auto setting. Since this particular baler that we have hooked up is an auto cycle, it automatically opens the tailgate and moves your hydraulic kicker, closes your tailgate, and brings your hydraulic kicker back home once the bale has been wrapped. You can turn that off in the monitor if you choose. You can select between twine, auto twine, manual twine, auto mesh, manual mesh. We'll select auto mesh. You select your bale size here, maximum 72 since this is a 5x6 baler. Other options within the monitor is a cycle start. Under the mesh monitor, there are different options. You can select how many mesh wraps to put on the bale and the tail delay. So that's after the mesh has been cut, how many revolutions the bale makes before ejecting. If you go into the twine options, there are quite a few options within that screen as well. Twine spacing, left edge spacing, left edge wraps. For really tough crops like straw, right edge spacing, right edge wraps, and tail delay, which is the revolutions it would make prior to ejecting. Some other options within the monitor is auto kicker, which you can turn off from the monitor, which is an industry exclusive. Auto start. This is the delay before automatically putting the mesh or twine on the bale. Most people want to set that around 3 to 4 seconds. That gives you time to stop the tractor's forward motion. A near full alert. This tells you how many inches you are before it gets full, and it gives you a warning. Shape sensitivity. Depending on how fast you drive through the field, you'll want to adjust this between low, medium, and high. If you're driving really fast, 12 miles an hour for instance, you want to set it to high. If you drive really slow through the field, 3 miles an hour, say CRP ground, you'll want to set it to low. You can have clutch engagement, and your drive beep you can turn on and off from the monitor. We have manual settings inside the monitor as well. You can manually apply twine or mesh and manually cut the twine or mesh. Also within the monitor, there are maintenance settings. They come in very handy to make sure everything is working properly. For more information on the 2900 series round balers, please visit your Hesston by Massey Ferguson dealer or visit masseyferguson.us.